What's up, Trainiacs? Welcome to this week's Triathlon News Day Tuesday, the very final one of the year. And in this week's Triathlon News Day, people are getting married. Leaders in points races are just not showing up to races. And I announced that we're shutting down. Kind of, temporary, sort of. Not a lot. What's up, triathletes? Welcome to Newsday Tuesday, where every single Tuesday, being super professional, we talk about goings-on around the triathlon world, and I gotta let you know, this is not a very exciting one. Most exciting part of it is that Gracie found a ball. Breaking news! As always, full links to everything we talk about will be in the description below, and make sure you stick around to the end where we talk about this week's great Trainiac Story, which is a weight loss story that isn't really the weight loss story that you would expect. All right, let's get into it. Now, to start off, let's get to the winners of the challenge series of races where Sebastian Kienle and Pablo Dapena Gonzalez were tied for the overall series lead coming into the last race of Challenge Daytona. Now, they were so far in the lead that they knew they were already going to win the overall series. So they were tied first, second. Both of them agreed to not show up to Challenge Daytona, so they split the first and second place prize, amounting to 25 grand worth of cheddar, worth of clams, in their jeans without even racing the final race of the year. Yvonne van Vlerken, such fun names that race triathlons in the Challenge Series these days. She won on the women's side. I think this is the second year in a row that she's done that. So congratulations to everyone for getting some Christmas money. Spend it wisely. Now, you know that it is a little bit light on news in the triathlon world when a wedding makes it. Now, this isn't any average wedding. This is it's almost like the royal wedding. Well, they are British too. It's like the royal wedding of triathlon. Lucy Charles and Reece Barclay, Team Charles Barclay, ended up tying the knot over the weekend, and it was documented just beautifully by our photographer friend James Mitchell. Now, everyone knows Lucy, but not everyone knows Reece. Reece himself is a phenomenal triathlete, placing 5th at Ironman Italy earlier this year. He's also Lucy's coach, and between the two of them, Team Charles Barclay and I are going to be creating a how-to swim with Lucy and Reece masterclass that I'll be producing with them in January when I head out to Lanzarote to meet them there. And all of the early access passes to get that class for half off are all sold out, but you can get the all access pass, which gets you access to that course and all triathlon courses that we will be coming out with in early 2019. You can get that for half off, 90 bucks, at triathlontaren.com/early masterclass. Now, we are already out of news to talk about. No races out on the circuit. So in podcast land, we just published a podcast with Sly Walters, who is a strength and conditioning coach, but he takes a really big role in the mental aspect of training. I gotta tell you, this is one of the most pump up kind of podcasts out there. And if you are at all struggling with motivation, go check out the interview that we did with Sly on the Triathlon Taren podcast. It is the most highly rated and ranked triathlon podcast in the world on Apple Podcasts, and is thanks to guests like Sly. Also, if you are already subscribed, or if you're thinking about subscribing and more training is your jam, with the release of Team Trainiac coming out in January, I'm going to be doing a series of podcasts that are more like mano y mano, you and me, maybe NTK, asking me questions along the way, where I talk about in really big detail with case studies and research around why we created the Team Trainiac workouts the way that we did for maximum effectiveness in minimal time, so that they are also really well suited and challenging for both beginner triathletes who can easily complete them, but also intermediate and advanced triathletes who will still be challenged by them. It was a really big balancing act that we did. I think we got something pretty good. So that's going to be in January. Make sure you go check it out. Related to that, Team Trainiac, the website, it works. It's live. Now, not live in the sense that all of you can go and sign up for it, but it is live in the sense that there is a URL that is out there in the world. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but I have a profile on it and I'm going through and completing my workouts and making sure that everything works and so far. So here's the thing. January 1st, it's going to come out. Over the course of the first 2 weeks in January, we are going to be onboarding all of the Kickstarter backers and the virtual Trainiac camp backers that ended up taking part in all of these things. They're going to be going through the beta. They are going to get first crack at signing up for the first bunches of spots, and then we will open it up, limited spots right at the start, to everyone that's signed up at triathlonTaren.com/team waitlist. We just want to make sure that the servers can handle it, that I can handle the workload, see if we need to hire an additional coach, because while there is automated training that is automated but customized to you, and the social media component where Trainiacs can help each other out, there is a component of one-on-one coaching where if you need and want a little bit of extra help, occasionally you can sign up and get that when you need it. So we gotta make sure that that all works. All right, on to the Trainiac story, which is pretty awesome, and it's not what you would expect. Starts off by saying, "Hi Taren, my name is Steven. Thought I'd share my story of weight loss and how I got started in triathlon, but this isn't the kind of weight loss story you usually hear. At 6'2", I've always been tall and thin, and for a lot of years, I was 165 pounds or 74 kilograms. That was my number. In 2008, without trying, I started losing weight. Over the following years, I continued to inexplicably lose weight, and it didn't seem to matter what I ate. I just couldn't keep the weight on. I was deeply exhausted all day, frozen all the time, and I couldn't sleep. Despite many doctor's appointments, a whole foods diet with proper nutrient intake, yoga, hormone therapy, acupuncture, you name it, years and years of trying things, and still over the course of a few years, I dropped from 165 pounds to my all-time lowest weight of 127 at 6'2" tall. It was a real scare for me when I learned my doctor was checking me for pancreatic cancer. Fortunately, the test turned up nothing, but I still kept losing weight. A few months later, in February 2013, my older brother announced he would do a sprint triathlon in late May. I was really happy for him, and I told him that I would go to the triathlon, fly out west, and cheer him on. But a day later, I decided to surprise him by entering the same triathlon, and I started training in secret. My first swim session was 6 lengths. My first bike ride was 2 kilometers. I started running by counting driveways. Every time I went to the pool, I added 2 lengths. After a few weeks, I graduated from counting driveways to counting blocks and eventually counting kilometers. I was so exhausted from the workouts that I started to sleep better, and then magically, my weight started to return. I hadn't told anyone about my training or my plan to race, but I finished that first sprint, another later in the summer, then moved up to the Olympic distance in 2015 and just finished my first 70.3 this past September. My times aren't great, but I've come a long way from not being able to climb a flight of stairs without pausing halfway up. I love being part of such a supportive, sporting community. I encourage everyone I see out on the race course, and they usually offer me encouragement in return. Hovering around 155 pounds now, I've never fully recovered all the weight that I lost, but I've settled into a healthy lifestyle, sticking to a pretty careful diet, and I have lots of energy for workouts. All the best to you, NTK and Mel, Steve. That is awesome, Steve. Like you say, this isn't the normal weight loss story that we hear, but as I've mentioned before, triathlon, it cures so many issues, whether it's weight loss or weight management or depression or motivation. It's an all-around great sport, especially when you come at it from the standpoint of you have here of just completing what you can in a healthy way, whether it is running to the next house or the next block or just the next kilometer. Do whatever you can. It's not all about always crushing personal bests at Ironman. Sometimes it's just about challenging you wherever you're at in life. So thank you very much, Steven. That was awesome. Last thing, Trainiacs, after today, we're taking a little bit of time off. Don't worry though, we've preset a whole bunch of videos that kind of wrap up the year, looking back on 2018, looking forward to 2019, favorite products throughout the year, favorite podcasts, favorite videos, favorite people that we met, all kinds of cool stuff like that. But I gotta go spend some time with NTK. After all the travel, after all the Trainiac virtual camps, after all of the videos that we have been hunkering down on, and all of the vacations that I have commandeered and turned into triathlon work vacations, I think we gotta spend some family time. So we're still around. Videos are just going to be very clearly, maybe not like live day to day, but they're still pretty good. All right, Trainiacs, if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. Have a great Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate season, and we'll see you in 2019 when I'm on the way to Lanzarote to do some work with Lucy Charles and Reece Barclay. Lucy Charles Barclay, Reece Barclay Charles. I like it. Later, Trainiacs.